So today we have some very exciting artifacts to show off from our collection. This set right here is actually pretty new to our museum. This came to us about last year and came all the way from Wisconsin. And it's very cool because it highlights a very specific and notable part of Cheyenne history. So during World War II and the war years, CFD for a time had to decide whether to keep going or to save itself and cancel the rodeo for the war effort. And the Army actually came to Frontier Days and said, you have to keep it going because it provides entertainment to the troops out at the fort, just on the other side of town, and it helps the morale on the home front. So they wanted to keep the rodeo going. And with that, throughout the war years, they included various war bond tour type events to include in Frontier Days in order to, show off different things to brag about the war, raise money for war bonds, and just gather up patriotism overall. So this set right here is from 1943, and it's when the famous bomber crew of the Memphis Belle came to Cheyenne. They came here in 1943 on their war bond tour. And for those of you that don't know, the Memphis Belle was a crew that was in charge of a B-17 bomber during the Second World War. And the U.S. Army Air Corps at the time had a program to where if you made it through 25 missions, that was a full tour of duty, and then you could be discharged, and then your time in the service would be over. But the trick was surviving those 25 missions. And so they had the program going, and the Memphis Belle became the first crew that made it through those 25 missions. And so to celebrate that and to show everybody that you could do it, they put them on the war bond tour to raise money for war bonds for the war effort. And so one of their stops was in Cheyenne in 1943. And we didn't really have a lot in the collection that specifically highlighted their visit here. But then we got lucky last year. So this right here is a full outfit. So you got a hat, a Western shirt, and pants that one of the war bond girls that was with them wore for their visit. And this war bond girl in particular worked in Cheyenne. She worked at Modification Center 10, which was basically where the airport is today. And that's where they modified parts of B-17 bombers. And so the Army wanted to make sure that the Memphis Belle crew, while coming to a Frontier Days, also visited that center to boost morale. And so they picked a few girls from the work line at the Modification Center to become the war bond girls for their visit in Cheyenne. And this is from one of them. And we have a couple photos that came with the collection right here. So this is taken at the Modification Center, and this is her right here. She's one of the Miss War Workers, they call them. And in this photo right here, this is the float that they had in the parade in 1943. And again, she's right there. And this is the outfit that she is wearing in those photographs. So hat, shirt, and pants all together. And what the Memphis Belle crew did when they came to Cheyenne is they were involved in a Cheyenne Frontier Days parade. They attended the rodeo and went to Frontier Park right on the arena floor. And then they went to Modification Center 10 to do their visit there. So this newspaper article, original from 1943, shows when it was reported that they were in the parade, and it includes a photo with the Miss War Workers in it and the Memphis Belle crew in what is our mud wagon. So the mud wagon turned out to play host to a number of dignitaries as they came throughout the years to Frontier Days parades, and the Memphis Belle crew ended up being one of the famous groups that got to ride in it. So you've got that. And then this last photo is of the entire Memphis Belle crew on the arena floor at Cheyenne Frontier Days, talking to the crowds for their war bond speech. And then, of course, you have the Miss War Workers right here. And that year for Frontier Day celebrations, the Miss War Workers even worked in conjunction at some events with the Miss Frontier and Lady in Waiting to do official duties. And then the coolest part of this whole collection is the hat, because what this woman did when the Memphis Belle crew was here looks pretty, ordinary from the top, save for a little ink, but she had the crew of the Memphis Belle sign her hat while she was here. So you have the captain that signed it up here. You have the navigator. You have a tail gunner. They wrote just various inscriptions on the hat. This one right here, the only signature that's on the front, the guy said, "Your husband's a lucky fella." So that's really cool. And it looks like, just a average collection of items, but together they highlight a very important and cool part of Cheyenne history.